Welcome to Channel AMAC, your insight to the Australian visa system. Good day everyone, my name is Carl Young, your online YouTube visa consultant. Are you interested in migrating to Australia? Why don't you consider to subscribe to my channel and turn on the bell on the side so once we have all the updates and news, you'll be the first one getting all the insight. Now, with the 4th of December to be the actual date of all the new policy to be out, perhaps as of today, it's the 11th of November. We haven't received any policy updates in regards to skills demand and also the National Innovation Visa. But we do have received something from the early childhood teachers skill assessment. Now, that probably will be something. I'm sorry, not 4th, it's the 7th of December. So let's jump in there and have a look. The 7th of December, what's going to happen? Because 7th of December, I believe it was 4th of December. Anyway, it's early December. We will have the new so-called the definition of all the occupation to replace the old ends code. So and together we have received information in regard the Skill Assessing Authority. How do I pronounce it? ACECQA. So ECCA, probably. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. It's the authority that assess all the previously was all childcare center managers, but now they included the early childhood primary school teachers occupation, and that's going to be starting from the 7th of December. I believe that's actually the same week or the same date that the replacement occupation definition will be out. Now, one thing importantly is that the governments had decided to drop the standards. Now, why did they drop the standard? Well, obviously, we will take a look how much they have dropped the standard is because they just cannot find enough skilled migrant, obviously, in the education centers for the actual kids. So again, would they do the same to all the perhaps or other occupational skilled talents? Perhaps. And would they drop the standards for skill migration? Well, we will see what happened, because what they have done is they drop the standard for the employment sponsor visa. That's starting from 12 months ago, where they dropped the requirement of 3 years to transfer to pathway to a permanent resident down to 2 years, and they're also including the short list occupations to be able to transfer into permanent residency as well. So they did drop standard on that one. Would they drop it on the general skill migration? Well, we don't know. We'll see what happens. Anyway, it's a good news that they have. So let's have a good read. So from the 7th of December, early childhood primary teacher, the occupation will transfer from the Australian Institute of Teaching and School Leadership, that's AITSL. I don't know why they do that. I mean, they could have just changed the policy from AITSL, but they are basically giving this to the ECCA, so ACECQA. It's just very hard to pronounce this. ACCA or ECCA, whichever way. Anyway, it's just the authority for childcare center manager now. They're including the early childhood teachers. So the 7th standard of early childhood teachers occupation are available here. So I've actually clicked that. So let's jump in there and have a look. Now I've flipped to the actual page. That's the important part that we require to have read. So I'm just move that over a bit. So this is the assessment standard. Now the only thing difference I'll point out, it's not from the qualification. Qualification will still the same because they require to be a bachelor degree or whatever the equivalent. So we'll take a little look of the detail, but I don't think it's we could actually be a vocal for assessment on the qualification part. But as long as you have studied a bachelor degree in English speaking country, you should really meet the requirement on the early childhood teachers. And the major changes here is the English proficiency requirement. Although they still require, so this is, you got to be one of the following. So you need to meet either of one of these four. So if we're starting from the last one, it says the case by case. Now it's gonna be very hard. So you gotta be starting from New Zealand, Ireland, Canada, or UK or USA. And the other one is the ISOPAR test. It's International Second Language Proficiency Rating, level 4. Or you pass generally. 99% of the skilled migrant will take IELTS test, so you require academic version of the 7 across reading and writing and 8 on the speaking and listening. Now, the major changes is this one. It's the first one. It says 1 year full-time tertiary or higher education study in either Australia, New Zealand, Ireland, Canada, UK, or USA. Now, why do I say this is the major change? Because the previous one, if we jump back to the AITSL's standard and we scroll down to the English requirement, look at this. The current one requires 4 years of study. Now, 4 years or 1 year, it's a major change there. That means if one could actually apply a master course of teaching, which is required to under the early childhood. I believe what already been happening, I think, is all the major universities by December, they will roll out a new program for early childhood teachers. Okay, so the master degree probably 2 years, and it'll cover all the requirements. And then obviously study 2 years, that means the 1 year requirement. Then you're not longer required to go for IELTS test and score 777, 888. However, I will still recommend you get 8 across, so you get that superior English, more rating, and more points for your general skill migration. But anyhow, it's a good thing they're dropping a standard on that one there. Now, the other thing is I wanted to also shoot you on the qualification assessment. It's a bit complex. I don't want to go detail on this one. It's basically talking about if you have not studied the qualification in Australia, it's elsewhere. They were looking into different aspects and things, and there's also a table down here to see how you actually meet the recognition of the qualification, Australian qualification framework. It's very complex here, and whether or not your curriculum have meet the requirements, and significant work experiences, and your 45-day supervised professional experience, blah blah blah. So all these details, and this is going to the actual curriculum content. Have you done this and done that and things like that? So it's a bit complex. So I'm not gonna go into this detail here, but just to allow you to actually know that for early childhood teachers, yes, Australia needs more of these teachers, and it's just not enough out there on skilled migrant that they can recruit. So they have, they probably won't accept this or admit to this, but they have just dropped the standards for the English proficiency from previously or currently you're required to have four years of full-time study in English-speaking countries. Now they drop it to only 1 year of studies in the English-speaking country. In bachelor degree, tertiary. Then you will meet the English proficiency requirements. So that will allow a lot of interest teachers to get the qualification and jump into probably not general skill migration, but they're easily to get into employment sponsorship. Anyway, should you have more question and query, more than welcome to leave comment right down below, and I'll see you next video. Goodbye.